all the way to the NBA Finals. Bam Adebayo is second in Miami history in 20 points, 10 rebounds, playoff game, second only to LeBron James.
How the hell you get in the Hall of Fame being down that low?
I'm higher than Jimmy Butler and Alonzo Mourning and Chris Bosh.
Hey, y'all tied.
Tied, actually, but
Four,
he did
four,
it
5, 6, 7.
He did it 2 years, right?
Yes, 2 years.
he wasn't there very long.
How you get in the Hall of Fame being that low on the list?
I don't know.
You know, Shaq, people are always trying to pick apart what Bam Adebayo should be offensively. Should he be a scorer? Should he be more of a complimentary player? Should he be a facilitator from the high post? If the Miami Heat are going to win this series, what should he be?
I think he's going to have to do it all at times. You know, it looks bad with him going 13 for 25, but just imagine if Jimmy was the Jimmy in the first round and he had 40, and then Bam would add with his 26, Miami would be up 1-1-0. So I like him being aggressive because you don't want Joker just sitting at the top of the key, picking you apart, you know, scoring at will, doing all the things that he's doing. You're going to have to make him play some defense. So the fact that they're starting Kevin Love, that's going to bring him away from the basket, but he should be aggressive. So I would like to continue to see him be aggressive. Chuck's going to disagree with me and say that's too many shots. But again, imagine Jimmy having 35 or 40 with 26 as his addition.
Couple things. I actually think that the matchup is going to be very interesting, how they play Kevin and Bam. Who's going to guard Joker? Who's going to guard Aaron Gordon? I think that's going to be a nice little chess match. But I just think 25 shots too many for Bam. I mean, he is a heck of a player, but 25 shots, first of all, if you have 25 shots, you got to have 35 points, in my opinion. I don't like that ratio. You got to have more points if you're going to take 25 shots.
Well, I agree with both of you in a way. I mean, first of all, he's got to be aggressive. Now, he was 13 for 25 from the field, 7 for 14 outside of the paint, 5 for 5 from the mid-range. He was 1 for 5 at the rim.
Right.
So usually high percentage at the rim. He's got to be more efficient. If he's hitting those shots at the rim and still shoots from the perimeter like that, then he can have a good game. I also think, though, he would have had a triple-double. He had 26, 13, and 5. If some of his teammates made some open shots, he could have been flirting with the triple-double. So both of you are right. He's got to be efficient, but he also has to be aggressive.
It was interesting, the Denver defense against Bam as well, though. Joker was sagging off of him and dropped coverage. He was content to let him take those mid-range jumpers. Is that a wedding ring? That is a wedding ring. Wow, on the shoe. Right. Joker's all in tonight for Game 2. The Commissioner, Adam Silver's standing by. He'll join us next here in Denver. On the floor here at Ball Arena, it is great to have you with us. Once again, I'm Matt Weiner here with the Hall of Famers, 4-time champion Shaquille O'Neal, Grant Hill, Charles Barkley right over there. Miami needs to make adjustments tonight and may need to think about who they're going to play and how much. And for more on that, let's take it backstage. Well, we'll get to Jared in a moment. First, we do have some pressing business, and that has to do with you and Shaq. It's the countdown to Game 2, which is coming in about 2 hours' time. But that's not the most important clock to some of us here on the set. The vacation clock is in play.
Oh, yeah.
Just under 6 hours for the two of you.
6 hours? I tell you what, man.
That's an estimate.
That's okay. We know this is the last time I'm going to be working. So, big fella.
I just want to say, Chuck, I'm not going to miss you.
I'll
call you once a month just to check in. You know I love you.
No, they're buying people out when you work with a damn fool now.
You're right. You are the big brother that I never had. And it's going to be a great vacation. But, you know, I don't stop, Greg. You know, I still got stuff to do.
You like to do stuff all the time.
Hey, man, got to work, brother.
Well, Matt, what about us?
Well, Grant has like 15 jobs, so he has no vacation.
We got to keep going?
I keep working.
Okay.
No, you're done, too. Matt's got to keep going.
I'll be 6 and 7, Game 6 and 7.
Hey, let me tell you something. If there's a 6 and 7, I might meet you back here because there ain't going to be no 6 and 7.
All right, let's take you backstage to Jared Greenberg, who has an update on the Miami Heat and personnel tonight for Game 2. Jared.
All right, Matt, within the next 15 minutes, we expect Tyler Hero to be on the game court, warming up just as he did before Game 1. But also, like Game 1, Tyler Hero has officially been ruled out of tonight's game as he continues to recover from right hand surgery. I have been told by people who were in the building yesterday that Tyler Hero was a full participant in Heat practice. He looked, quote-unquote, amazing and did everything he normally would do to get ready for a game. They're just not ready to put him in. He is expected to make his return to the lineup for the first time in nearly 2 months, Wednesday for Game 3 back in Miami. The Heat will have Caleb Martin available tonight. He's been battling an illness. However, I have learned within the last hour that Miami is expected to make a lineup change, going back to the lineup they rode throughout most of the NBA playoffs, going big with Kevin Love back in at the starting power forward position, Matt.
Wow, Jared, that is big news. Kevin Love has been a DNP the last 3 games of the playoffs, going back to the Boston series and here in Game 1. Shaq, what do you think this means for Miami tonight?
I mean, to give him a little bit more size. He has a stretch 4, you know what they call. He can go out, and if the Joker's ever going to switch to him, keep him away from the basket, because he is a threat for the 3. But I'm still anxious to see how they're going to defend the Joker. What are they going to do? They have some good things they did in that fourth quarter. They're probably going to capitalize off that. But like you said, Matt, it's a tall order, and we'll see if this works. But I don't think they should double right away. I think they should mix it up, make Joker score 4 or 5 backers in a row, get 10 points. You don't want him to pick you apart, because Joker's one of us. He's going to get his 27. He's going to get his 27 aggressively or non-aggressively, but you don't want to let him get the others involved early, especially here at home. So I'm anxious to see how they play him tonight.
As for Kevin Love, he's become almost exclusively a 3-point shooter since he arrived in Miami, and he shot it just under 37% here in the postseason. What can it do for Miami tonight?
Just spread the floor more. I mean, he's a bigger body to go against Joker. So, number one, that's going to help in the passing lanes. But the main thing, he can pull the Joker away from the basket. That should help Bam. That should help Jimmy get to the basket more, because they didn't shoot any free throws basically the last game. So that's the only difference. But, man, the one thing about this Nuggets team, they don't let you make mistakes. I think it'll help, because the way these teams play defense now, they switch everything. The Joker just sit there like Peyton Manning last game, like, well, let me see what that mismatch is. And he played the quarterback the first 5, 6, 7 plays of the game. But Kevin's going to have to make some threes, and that's the only reason he would be in the game, and to spread the floor. So he's going to have to me, probably make 5 or 6 threes if Miami's going to be successful.
Miami was just 5 of 16 on wide open threes in Game 1. They shot it at about 48% in the Boston series.
And they had a lot of open threes, too. That was what was interesting. Even Max Strus, 0 for 9 from 3, 0 for 5 on wide open threes. And you talk about Kevin Love, just the threat of him out there is important.
You got to play him.
But, look, we don't typically say this about a Kevin Love on the other side. But I thought Miami, you talk about taking advantage of mismatches or mistakes. You had Vincent guarding Aaron Gordon early, and they were able to go inside, Aaron Gordon using his size. So at least Kevin Love will give some size and maybe prevent Gordon from getting off early. But I like this, to match the size and physicality, have Love out there with Adebayo to start the game.
Yeah, and it was really funny when people they talk about perception and reality. I did a radio show for one of my friends here in Denver yesterday, and he said, Miami's not going to shoot that bad. I said, did you actually even look at the stats for the game? He said, no, I didn't look at the stats. I said, the Nuggets didn't shoot. The Heat actually shot the ball better than.
Plus 15 on threes in Game 1, yeah.
So this notion that everything Miami's going to shoot, I said, the Nuggets going to shoot the ball better. They were the team that hadn't played in 10 days.
Yeah.
So this notion that everybody going to start making threes, I said, man, the Nuggets, they did not shoot the ball well. So this hope that Miami just going to start making threes and going to change the whole outcome of the game, I don't agree with.
Both teams shot well below their postseason averages in terms of three-point percentage. One of the differences for Miami was the free throws, an NBA playoff record, 2 free throw attempts, and the fact that they weren't going to the rim, and some of that is Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they were driving, but they were driving to pass.
Yes.
They weren't driving to score. Jimmy Butler was getting into the paint, but wasn't even looking at the basket. You don't know if it was he just was being tentative, if he was maybe feeling the game out.
He's always patient.
Or he felt,
Patient.
the size was giving me problems, but he's got to be more aggressive. He's got to look to hunt his shots like that, get into the paint, be efficient, and, of course, get to the line, put some pressure on that defense of Denver. You got to draw some fouls, and Jimmy Butler, one of the best in the game.
I think sometimes when you're a star, you got to be more selfish. And Jimmy's got to be more selfish. Kenny talked about it. He's one